Alright, welcome back to Lenz Comic Corner, classic, lesser known classics. This is episode number 33, 21, Doubleshot number 32, 15. I have a book from Titan Comics and a DC trade. First up we have is Doctor Who. This, of course, is the 11th Doctor, Volume 2, known as Conversation. This collects issues 11 to 15 of the 11th Doctor series. Yeah, that actually was I think 2 more years after this one. Yes. Now, I think, if I remember correctly, I think that Titan Comics got their hands on this almost 10 years ago. Because they had published comics for, because I had discussed 13 Doctor already and cover comics. They basically must have published comics for 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 15. I think they do briefly another comic for 14. They have also published comics for 3, 4, and 8. Yeah, the company itself, I guess because it's... How should I put this? Because the fact, basically, that the Titan books, per se... If I can find it here. Let's see here. Here we go. Found it. Okay, so for the 11th Doctor, mostly put this, let's see, this was published in 2015. Yeah. And this technically is the end of this particular book, per se. Yeah, so it's written by Al Ewing and Rob Williams, art by Simon Fraser, Boo Cook, and Warren Pleece. So, in the first, basically the companions here, Alice Jones and Ark. As for the placement of this, per se, this is maybe one of his off-screen times during I think it was after Amy and Roy left, because there's a mention of Amy and Roy in here. So yeah, mostly put just a Doctor in London in modern day, just dealing with this possible, going to Comic-Con. Then we have Give Free or Die. Yeah, this is basically sort of a in-between one, per se. Yeah, the name of this one here, the opening story here, they do not have a name for this one. It just a quick short story. And then it's Give Free or Die. So then we move on to chapter 11 of this show, of the comic. Yep, so it just Jones put an alphabet. By the way, the alien of the book, the alien you see in the cover, that is Ark. And we do see a reference to the first season show where the TARDIS explodes, and of course they go off into space. But they're fine, and it's a bunch of weird stuff. Yeah, with this weird alien stuff, and of course doctors and this weird thing. So, name of these books are... You have Tuesday, Your Destiny Waits. Space Squad, Body Snatched. It's not that one, actually. Here we go. So yeah, this is basically actually 4 dimensions: Conversation Part 1, Part 2, and The Comfort Part 1, and Comfort of the Good, well, Part 2. Yeah, this is published basically in 2015, yeah. The whole thing with Titan going to get their hands on it, they published 3 years worth of comics. Last comic they published of the 11th Doctor was actually 7 years ago. And this is the end of the first year. So a lot of this is basically a lot, and there's also this weird thing with these weird parasite possessing. Yes, believe it or not, that is the Mondas. This is not the Mondas. This is actually the cyber industry Cyberman, which is weird because the Cyberman here in the show did not look like this when 11th Doctor came out. They actually got an updated look, which this look in particular, basically, the only way you can tell it's cyber industry is because basically of the C on their chest. Yeah, that's simply put what it is. Now, they did publish at the same time as, of course, 9, 10, and 12. And 9 basically didn't have much for him. He published like one, I think it was like 1 or 2 comics. That was it. But 11th Doctor, like, they published like 3 each for each. They did 3 years each for each of these Doctors. Probably to tie into whenever they were on the show. But that's kind of what it is. But it's still pretty good. Okay, roughly 8 out of 10. It's even basically like a cyber invasion of Rome. Yes. Next up we have is Justice League Unlimited. Hocus Pocus. Yep. Magical stuff here. So, we have, this book collects issues from Justice League Unlimited Volume 1. Not the Mark Waid book. This is the original book for the Justice League TV show. Limited. Issues 11, 14, 25, 33, 37, and 40. Stories here are Postcard from the Edge. That is issue 11. I did look it up. Chapter 2, Everybody in Limbo. That's from issue 14. Dead May Care, 25. Everything is old. Everything old is new again. That is 33. Hard Spirits, 37. Cast on Shadow. That is issue 40. First starting off with Postcard from the Edge. This is by Adam Beechin. Now I'm also putting focus on Stargirl. This one is her there with Steel, Wonder Woman, Superman. They're basically not in Atlantis. And Aquaman is basically just like a limited look where basically he points at like, okay, so we're worthy of a dog voice. He's like, oh yeah? And what would make me worthy? Being able to talk to fish? And he says nothing. Nobody's ever just like, okay. Yep, and then of course they had to fend off an attack on Atlantis, which just happened to be there. We have a giant rising up. It's a really fun story. And then she becomes an honorary citizen of Atlantis because she helped save Atlantis. Good for Courtney. Everybody in Limbo. Basically, it's a dead man story. Yep. Adam Beach is the writer here, and mostly put, yeah, you have him possessing Wonder Woman, where the first thing he says is, "Holy guacamole, I am smoking hot." Yep. Yeah, mostly put, it's one of a couple stories for each dead man. It's him basically with the Trenchcoat Brigade. Yes. This is the comic that, now in the show, they never brought up the Trenchcoat Brigade at all. Which, of course, comprised of Dr. Occult, Satana, Dr. Fate, Edric Demon, and Zarel. Which that is this show's version. In the comic, it was a completely different lineup. Oh my gosh, yes, the Trenchcoat Brigade. So, the comic version of this group was comprised of, get this, John Constantine, Dr. Occult, Mr. E, the fan page is part of this book too, and Rose Psyche. Yep. And get this, the only person who, there's only 2 people part of this, of the comic version and this version as Masked Ranger and Dr. Occult. You're probably asking, okay, who is Mr. E? He is not that big of a character. He was basically he was debuted book of Secrets of the Haunted House back in the 80s. He basically was on Masked Ranger. People know who he is, John Constantine. Dr. Occult. He is basically a supernatural detective, kind of like basically John Constantine. He is a predecessor to John Constantine. Basically, he's John Constantine without being a massive dick about it. Rose Psyche. She is an original character. Actually, no, she actually is from that same period. She basically is, well, Dr. Cult's partner. That's mostly what he is. And they also drawn by Zariel the Angel, who's part of this group, who's not part of the show. And it's mostly going on a mission to fight some supernatural threats. Surprisingly, one of them is not part of this lineup. Nope. But after they handle it, and then of course you get Devil May Care. This, of course, is basically featuring Blue Devil, Elongated Man, Jon Stewart, Hawkgirl in the correct costume design, unlike basically early on with put her in the incorrect costume. Mostly put, this is a Blue Devil story. It's him and Dr. Fate working together, and of course, he really wants to cure. He decided to keep it and be happy. Chapter 4 basically focuses on the Crimson Avengers. Well, mostly putting up Stargirl and the Crimson Avenger. Actually, it was 7th Victory. Where you take on, team with Hawk and Dove, take on Zero Banshee, of course, Aztecs there too. There's also Mirror Master. It's mostly put these two working together as a basically unit. There's also Morgan Le Fay in here, which of course is the look she had when she appeared on Justice League. Yep, that's most of what it is. It's them working together for a quick team up. Chapter 5, Hard Spirits, is basically where Spectre is on his own. Eventually, by the end of the books, it's like the Spectre was separate from Jim Corrigan, the story. So this is adapting from the Doug Moore version of the character, because that's kind of how he operated in that book. He wasn't transformed into him; he just basically was host to him. He didn't become him like normal. Yes. So he's separate, and Jim Corrigan even possesses Jim Corrigan briefly. Heck, he even possesses Spectre. And then we have Cast No Shadow, where it's a Zatanna story. Yep, it's a Zatanna story. It's all focused on her. Dr. Fate's obviously. But yeah, it's a basically full-blown Zatanna story. Now, weirdly enough, Zatanna never had a story on the TV show itself, surprisingly. Like, her appearance in the show, I remember she never spoke on Justice League Unlimited. Her appearances were nothing more than non-speaking cameos. She appeared in, like, maybe one episode of Batman animated series where she was a love interest of Bruce Wayne, but it didn't go anywhere at all. But this book, pretty good. Give roughly a 9 out of 10. This is basically one of these it's basically these young adult books, but the Just Like TV show, Limited TV show was actually still very popular this very day. Yep. But yeah, that's the particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up, basically, well, after my stream, probably work on my review for Dr. Stone. Okay, next view. Bye.